Bring in John Marshall. He is joining us today from Chicago. He's the author of the book Clash, Presidents and the Press in Times of Crisis. John, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me here.
What went through your mind when you heard about these upcoming changes in the Trump administration?
Oh, it's very disturbing news. Here's the thing. If you like dictatorships, and if someone wants to live under a dictatorship, it's great news. But for those Americans like myself who want to live in a democracy, it's really terrible and dangerous news to have a president pick and choose who gets to report on him.
Yeah, and I wonder whether there's any legal recourse here. What these media organizations may or may not be able to do to allow access for them, even if they're not popular with the president. I mean, maybe that's kind of the point sometimes.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to pretend to know the legal ins and outs of it. But here's the thing. Donald Trump doesn't own the White House. It is not his White House. It is the people's White House. It is the taxpayers of America White House. It's our government, and reporters who cover that government should have access to it. And when a president gets to pick and choose who covers him, it becomes very similar to what happened in the Soviet Union, similar to what happens under any other dictatorship, where the person in power tries to control all the information about them.
Yeah, we're just going to bring up a statement here. Basically, the takeaway, this is from the folks, major news organizations like Reuters, the Associated Press, and Bloomberg, basically saying it's essential in a democracy for the public to have access to news about their government. We believe any steps by the government to limit the number of wire services with access to the president threatens that principle. And they go on to say that it also harms the spread of reliable information as well. Are you surprised we're seeing this from this White House, John?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not surprised. Donald Trump has made it his strategy to cast hardworking journalists as being enemies. The people trying to get news to the public are enemies. And ever since he was running in 2015 and 2016 for his first term, he has tried to do what he can to intimidate anyone who reports negatively about him. So this is really just an escalation of a pattern that has been going on, unfortunately, for many years.
I know the White House, John, has tried to frame this as the following. Look, there are a number of legacy media that have too much say, too much clout, too much control, too much access. We want to spread it around to other news organizations that maybe don't get, a crack at bat covering the White House as well. What do you make of that argument?
It's a bogus argument. The White House Correspondents Association rotates people in and out of who's in the press pool. Some of the largest news organizations get to be there more often because they reach more people, but it rotates. So a lot of different news outlets have access to questioning the president when he travels. And it's fine to allow in different media organizations, but it should be media organizations who do actual reporting, which means seeking out factual information and trying to verify it as much as possible. So including organizations that just do commentary that's favorable to the president is really not serving the public.
All right, so what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think the White House press corps is going to try to challenge it as best they can. And hopefully the American people will also get very frustrated if the news organizations that they follow cannot have access to cover the president who's supposed to be serving them. It may end up as a backlash against the president. Other presidents who've tried to restrict the media, like Richard Nixon did, going all the way back to John Adams, who tried to throw reporters in jail. There ended up being a serious backlash against them, and that may happen with Donald Trump if he continues along this path.
John Marshall joining us from Chicago. He is the author of Clash, Presidents and the Press in Times of Crisis. Hey, John, thanks for taking time for us in Canada today.
Thanks for having me. Great to be with you.